Hey, so hello everyone, welcome back to King's Digital ELT. My name is Shuhei Aida. I am an editor of the website and as well as MIT Source student at King's College London. So King's Digital ELT is a platform where we share insight of experts in technology enhanced language teaching or learning with teachers around the world. Today we are going to talk about short form videos, the use of short form videos in ELT. For that, we are delighted to have special guests from Australia and Thailand, Annisa, Laura, Maretha from Deakin University, and Kiki, Juli, Anggoro from Warayalak University, Thailand. Thank you so much for joining us today, both of you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you. So before we get started, would you like to introduce yourself a little bit and maybe tell us about your research as well? Who wants to jump in first?
Should I jump in first? So I'll just straight forward, my name's Annisa Laura Maretha. I'm currently doing my PhD at Deakin University in Australia, and this is my third year. Before starting my PhD, I worked as an English lecturer in Warayalak University in Thailand, and I think also before I did some teaching also in another university in the north of Thailand. So my background, I would say that English language teaching, but as of now, for my PhD research, in the intersection of social linguistics, digital communication, and gender and religion. So I would say that when it comes to me, I think right now I'm in interdisciplinary kind of like mode. So that's where I do as of now with my research interests.
Okay, thank you so much. How about you, Kiki?
Okay, so Kiki Juli Anggoro, you can call me Kiki. I'm a lecturer at the School of Education, Warayalak University. My research interests include technology enhanced language learning and applied linguistics.
Okay, thank you so much. So the reason why I invited both of you for this is because I came across your paper called App Review TikTok Benefits, Drawback, and Implication for ELT. Was published in 2020, if I'm not mistaken. Even though the main stream of video content consumed by younger generation is now short videos, uh, but it hasn't been discussed in ELT field, I feel. Maybe it's just me who hasn't done enough research or studies, but that's what I thought. And maybe sharing your ideas that you had on your paper with other teacher might help. So I'm really excited to hear your opinions, ideas today. Thank you so much. So before we moving on to the first question, if you're ready, yeah. So either of you can take this one, but if you can explain about your paper briefly, maybe like background, the summary, that would be nice.
Okay. Do you want to start introducing our paper, Kiki, or maybe I'll do the introduction.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I think that we did write it. It was in 2021. So that was actually a year after the COVID pandemic. And that's the time when we actually like know what's the purpose of TikTok as the way how we deal with our case back then when it comes to the online learning. And that's how we sort of like thinking of doing a review of existing studies and the way that we deal with TikTok in English language teaching, because no matter what, when it comes to university settings at that time that we didn't meet in class, and what we can do is just we try to make use of what's available. And I think that was the time that we just started writing our paper. So the paper was just definitely a review paper that we try to see how TikTok offers many educational opportunities, but also at the same time, what's the challenge? Because that's the way how we see the way how it's needed by the students, or in what way, if it's needed. So yeah, it's kind of like the way that our paper works is definitely in the conclusion that TikTok should not replace teachers
mm,
or existing teaching methods. However, it can be viewed as the resource, like one resource that we can integrate thoughtfully in the class.
mm,
So I think that's our paper. Hopefully, if
mm,
it's if it's right, it's our paper. It's about that. That's the summary.
mm.
Can do you want to add some more, Kiki, on that one point or more?
All right. So, okay. So at the time, Anissa and I were working at the same place. So we were
Mm,
working at Malak University at the time of the writing of the article, right? And we
mm,
were also teaching similar courses. We were teaching general English courses, and in the context of EFL, or English as a foreign
right.
language, one major problem is the exposure to the target language, which is
Mm,
English. Yes, and also because of the lack of exposure, the students may not feel very confident when they speak the
mm,
language, or they produce the language. Therefore, it was quite important for us to find alternatives for the students to first help make the instruction in the classroom more engaging to them, more appealing to them, and
mm,
then two, to encourage them to self-regulate their own learning at home. So we saw
yeah.
TikTok as one potentially a beneficial opportunity for
Okay.
our students at the time, both in the class and outside of the classroom.
Okay, okay. Oh, thank you. That's very interesting. I didn't know you were also thinking about, the use of it outside of classroom. I was only thinking about the use of it in the classroom. That's very interesting. Thank you so much. So what was the so based on your review, so what were the major advantages of the short form videos, the use of it in the classroom or outside of classroom?
Oh, you mean the benefits they use,
Yep.
like
Yep.
yeah. I think like what Kiki said, when it comes to English language itself, it's something that Thai students, especially this is actually really inspired by our students' needs back then. And that was also the point where we try to actually like see TikTok as it is something that is available to them as well as a student, because like during their time studying English, also I think when it comes to university settings, also something when it comes to social media, I think when it comes to TikTok, it's something that the students also enjoy doing it. So I
Mm,
think when it comes to like what Kiki said, it really helps the students to feel engaged, to
mm,
feel motivated, also to do some sort of like tasks
mm.
that they actually like also like do it on their daily basis when it comes to
Right,
like them
right.
just like consuming content on
Mm,
TikTok or like any other social media platform. So I think that's the benefit of it. And I think
mm,
we also like had some examples where our courses actually like also encourage the students to actually like submit a 1 minute vlog in a video form,
mm,
whatever format that they want. They can actually like do the posting privately on YouTube or on TikTok or like any other like social media platforms that they
mm,
want, and they can actually like show it to us when it comes to this kind of like task, and they also like can just like submit it also in this way. And I think that's also something that we did. I think if I'm not mistaken, it was English for Media and Communication, that was the
mm,
course, and that was something that we did in encouraging them to really like
mm,
use social media platforms to work on their tasks, which is
mm.
something that they also enjoy at the same time, but also like kind of like encouraging them to learn more on the
Right, right.
idea of English itself. Anything else, Kiki?
All right. So I think to add to that, I think in the
Mhm,
manuscript we mentioned that some of the benefits include expanding the learning resources,
Mm,
and then promoting motivation and self-confidence, and helping reduce students' procrastination, and
mm,
improving their 21st century skills.
mm.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Yeah, you had like a few points written on the paper, a few advantages, and one of them were um using it as a resource, also using it as a task. Um, it as well as like 21st century skills and avoiding procrastination. Can you explain what do you mean by like 21st century skills? Um,
Um, I think
Okay.
when it comes to that one, you can
mm,
do it, Kiki, if you want to start.
mm,
Okay, right. So I think like the 21st century skills. So we have the four C's, we have IMT, and then we have flips, right? So
mm,
the four C's include collaboration, and then creativity, and then communication skills, among others. So I believe that through doing TikTok videos, the students can collaborate with one another, thus
right.
improving their collaboration skills. And then
Mm,
through the speaking activities, they also are improving their communication skills. And when
right.
they are generating videos, they also use creativity, right? To use filters or templates or songs which might engage more audience. So
Mm,
that's related to the four C's. And then for the IMT, the information, media, and technology. So by interacting with a platform like TikTok, the students are also in a way improving their information technology and media literacy, which is quite
mm,
important, I think, for them because they are digital natives, right?
mm,
And actually, I believe the students are better than myself when it comes to using
yeah.
of
Yeah.
technology. Right. Maybe Anissa would like to
Mm,
add to that.
I think it's also something that I just like second the opinion of Kiki is in a way how students are so creative when it comes to
mm,
their tasks and the way how they actually perform in the class as well. Because when it comes to that idea of like, when it comes to TikTok, it's really multimodal. Like it's about the language, it's about the music, it's about the visual and
mm,
everything that they have to like be able to be creative, to collaborate everything when it comes to all of that. So it really is something about student comprehension in all skills. I think it's really
right.
like not just about speaking, but it's really like to listen to
Mm,
when it comes to like group work, for example, like they have to like really like communicate. So I think it's really like them practicing their speaking, their storytelling, and
mm,
also explaining ideas in English. Because when it comes to the, for example, vlogging, like they need to be able to explain about the schedules, like 1 day vlog, for
right.
example, like
Right.
what time, like they have to do something and like in what way, like maybe they have to explain this time and then in the morning, in the afternoon, and like what sort of things. So I would say
Mm,
it's really um a lot to do,
mm,
and I think that is something that they can do it within, yeah, it's like a short span attention that they also like have in class, but also at the same time they can make it work. They also
mm,
like can do it in the way, but actually even like it's just like how many seconds video, it's behind the scene, it's like longer than that, and that's
yeah.
how they should know how to appreciate that kind of like production and everything when it comes to TikTok itself. So yeah,
Mm,
I think it's good for students' creativity.
mm. Okay. Okay. Oh, nice. Thank you so much. So, moving on to the next one. So, on the flip side, is there any like drawbacks the teacher should be aware of when it comes to using it in the classroom?
um, I think when it comes to the classroom itself,
Mm,
myself, in my personal reflection of what I did in my experience, I think I did not really like use that one as much as I um, do it myself on a daily basis when it comes to the materials in teaching materials.
mm,
But I encourage them to deal with the accuracy of information, because one of the drawbacks when it comes to TikTok, it definitely is like anyone can create content, but every explanation on the grammar or on the
ah,
vocabulary might not be reliable. So I think
mm,
when it comes to the content, like I think I encourage the students to be able to filter information that they need. So because anyone can create any content, so I think I just encourage them to actually see it. For me, I usually like filter some of the content that is already good in a
mm.
way, and I just like give them the links, and that's how I
Okay.
deal with the drawbacks. Because I would say when it comes to accuracy in information, maybe it's not really that accurate
Mm,
in TikTok. But yeah,
mm,
anything else, Kiki?
All right, so I agree with Anissa, and also I think in the manuscript we stated that some of the drawbacks or the are related to the privacy issues. And then we also had concerns about the content of the lesson, which is the quality of the content itself, as mentioned by Annisa. And then also we mentioned here improvements of 21st century skills.
Yes.
Um, and then lastly, there was some issues with other potential limitations, such as students' addiction. I think when they
It's true.
watch the videos too much, they might watch videos that are not actually related to the class, and they
Yeah.
watch videos that are related to their preferences, maybe their hobbies, which is actually good, but it may not be good for the course.
Mm. Okay, okay. But I don't know, what you said is basically like related to 21st century skill, I guess, choosing the information and maybe avoiding the addiction to those medias. Okay, so okay, let's move on to the next one then. I don't want to talk about a lot of drawbacks. Uh, we are here to kind of encourage teachers to use it. Uh, anyway, so moving on to the next one. So from ELT perspective, what do you think is the difference between like traditional media such as like movies or TV series and short form videos like TikTok, Instagram? What is the difference? If there's a difference, how how does the difference influence the way they can be kind of used, integrated into their classroom?
I think it's for me when it comes to TikTok and how it's different with like how other kind of like genres like in the long form kind of like movies or like all these like TV shows and everything. Definitely it's about the it's more about the daily consumption of it, and
Mm,
definitely TikTok is there to support their daily life basically as of now when we talk about 2026. But also at the same time when it comes to English language learning itself, I think I don't want to emphasize that you can only just like use TikTok because now TikTok is everywhere, but I would say that TikTok is just complementary when it comes to like this English like materials like English language teaching materials. Also, it's something that you can encourage to the students. But I think the difference is definitely when it comes to TikTok, it's something that you can use it in the class, but intentionally, not as something that you just call TikTok is trendy these days. And like when it
mm,
comes to like TikTok is trendy, then everyone uses it and we should use it. I don't think that's the right approach.
mm,
We really still have to be intentional with the use of TikTok and how we as teachers can really like create the environment that TikTok is still something that you can still like instill something when it comes to the English materials like language learnings materials. So I think that's one. So I would say that TV shows, movies, things like that can still be included,
mm,
even though it's long. But I believe that when it comes to like long durations, I think that might give students not really good um, like sort of attention because maybe
I see.
they're not enjoying it like if
Mm,
it's too long. Maybe we can just like also like do the alternatives of like just like from those long movies, like we can deal with clips, the short clips. Maybe it's just like in 1 minute clip of like that one long movie, for example, in the way how
mm,
we also like deal with those kind of things. And I think these days when it comes to TikTok, I think TikTok has changed as well, right? The platform. I think right now the duration is longer than 2021.
oh, I didn't know
The
that.
first, yeah, actually it's changed. So you can upload depending on the types of your accounts on TikTok. I think as I'm doing this research on social media, that's how I
Mm,
got to know it. So you can post as long as 10 minutes even, but it's really like I think different kind of accounts will
right.
definitely have different kinds of like length. So mostly you can do even like, yeah, that means 10 minutes, it's long enough, I think. So I think
Mm,
now everyone can use TikTok when it comes to this kind of even English language learning. So
mm,
yeah, that's my that's my opinion on that. The difference, I would say, no longer different, but still you can do both.
right.
Yeah.
What about you, Kiki? Do you have any comment on this?
Well, I agree with Lisa, but also yeah, maybe I will add some things. So exposure, as I previously mentioned, is quite important in the EFL context, right? And exposure can come in a variety of forms. And videos, long videos like movies or short videos like reels, TikTok videos, some of the exposure that the students can learn from and practice their target language with. And when it comes to the length of the videos, I'll say it depends on the learner's preferences and
Right.
several other factors such as their English proficiency level. So it's beneficial for learners to expose themselves to English texts
Mm,
or in this case videos, right? Therefore, reading is a very powerful way to practice language in the EFL context. And if the students do not like reading, then watching movies is a really good alternative.
mm,
However, in the classroom, which is time constrained, right?
mm,
So usually the class here in Thai higher education lasts for 2 hours. And if we watch a movie, I think we may not be able to do a lot of activities.
mm,
Um, and however, we do need to encourage students to improve their own English or to encourage student self-regulation by watching English movies of their interests
mm,
or by themselves at home or at dorm, right? So it's quite important. But when it comes to the length of the videos itself, I think to include it in the classroom, it has to be short. And because I'm from the field of technology enhanced learning,
mm,
and I've been doing research related to flipped classroom. And in flipped classrooms, some of the pre-class materials can include videos. I have learned that it's quite important for the videos to be short
mm,
because if the videos are long, then the students usually procrastinate. And if the videos are compact, then the
mm,
students only spend like one sitting, maybe they only spend 3 to 5 minutes watching the videos, and it can help reduce their procrastination. And in the classroom itself, if the videos are shorter, but let's say 3 to 5 minutes, then we can, rather than just focusing on the receptive skills, which is
mm,
the listening part, we can foster more conversation or language production in the classroom. So in the EFL context, the reading skills and the listening skills or the receptive skills are taught well, and the students can actually listen and read English very well. However, when it comes to the productive skills such as writing and speaking, the students struggle. Therefore, it's when the videos are shorter, we have more time, more opportunities for the students to produce the
mm,
language in the classroom, supervised by us. And outside of the class, when the videos are shorter, the students might have a motivation to watch a
mm,
lot of videos, I think, rather than just one topic of a video.
mm.
I hope that helps.
Yeah, yeah, it's really clear. Okay, so yeah, the last question I had for today is it might overlap with what you said before, but if you have any like advice you'd give to teachers who want to use them in their classroom from based on your findings or from your from teaching experience, what would be the advice you'd give to teachers? We'd love to hear your thoughts on using them both as like video creation task or and as instructional like materials, like as text you mentioned.
Um, So me first then. I think from my experience, I would just like encourage all the Is this for the learners or for the teachers again? The
For the
advice?
teachers mainly. Yeah.
For the teachers,
Sorry.
okay. If it's for the teachers, I think I would still encourage the teachers to use TikTok in a way that is not as passive, but like really encourage the students to be active in a way. Because literally, when it comes to the teachers, I think it comes to their agency as someone who facilitate the classroom. Also the way how they actually like know what the students need. Like Kiki mentioned, it really depends on the level of their English proficiency level. So each class is a different condition compared to the rest, or maybe also they come from different levels, even in one class. So we really we really need to embrace all those things as a teacher. So I would really encourage the teachers to be like using TikTok as a tool to really like work it out in the classroom setting, but also at the same time, that's the time that they really can integrate the whole like 21st century skills in the way that they actually can also like decide on like what to do in the class, like also deal with self-regulatory perspective on the students' learning. Also, in that way, I think it's really important as a teacher to be able to keep improving, keep adjusting, and also keep modifying about the whole materials, because definitely when it comes to ELT in EFL context, it's always changing, even year by year. Like, for example, TikTok, I never know that the features change, even like it's just 5 years, but it's so fast because it's technology. So I think when it comes to like putting technology into classroom setting is something that we also like need to keep updated. Like we need to keep ourselves updated to that settings. And I think Kiki knows, because Kiki is actually from educational technology. I think it's like even maybe Kiki has more to say when it comes to teachers' perspectives, as yeah, he's still teaching now.
All right. So it okay. So for teachers, right, and the short videos. Okay. So just like I actually forget what I wanted to say.
That's
Okay.
fine. That's fine.
So I agree with Anissa about the necessity for teachers to keep growing, right? Because our students are, I think they are engaged with technology, contemporary tools more frequently than us. And as a 21st century teacher, I think it's quite important for us to also update our skills, to reskill, and to actually utilize the technologies that are available that the students like to foster their own learning. So including TikTok. Well, even though this manuscript is only about TikTok, I and Anissa has previously mentioned that this was written in 2021. Yes, Anissa, and it was a long time ago, and at the moment I think TikTok has experienced a lot of updates, right? And so are other platforms. So these days the short videos, we can use other platforms as well. So instead of just specifying to students that they post or they study from TikTok or create TikTok videos, we can encourage them to just create short videos or learn from short videos from other platforms as well, such as YouTube Shorts. I think a lot of students these days also use Instagram, so Reels on Instagram, Facebook as well. So it's not really about the platform, but the short videos themselves, I'll say. And I think as a teacher, we also are learners. So through watching the short videos, maybe during our breaks. So we might also improve our skills. I think there are a lot of content creators out there, teacher content creators that post their teaching videos or strategies or tips and tricks on how to use certain tools or how to use certain strategies when teaching English. I think we can watch their videos and learn from them as well. So as much as students can learn from these short videos, teachers also can learn.
Mm. Okay, thank you so much. So this is the end of the interview. Well, again, thank you so much for joining us today. I think you share a lot of useful and practical insight with us today. Thank you so much. For the audience, thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you next time again. Thank you.